between the Ravens and the Raiders because that is ongoing. We'll get to the Daniel Jones contract extension as he is Kirk Cousins part 2 relative to his ability to cash in on his skills as a football player. Some other kind of sneaky, interesting moves. The Cowboys trade Osa Odigizua to the Niners, a big-time defensive tackle. The Niners get him. Javon Hargrave goes from the Vikings. He gets released in division to your Packers. Maybe that's the veteran kind of been there, done that. This is how it's done guy that we've been saying for the Packers. He's been to a couple of Super Bowls. Bills go out there and sign pass rusher Bradley Chubb, most recently with the Miami Dolphins, a former top, I think, 5 or maybe 10 pick in the draft by the Denver Broncos. But the move that is going to be probably, we think, made today, Adam Schefter reported that Kyler Murray, now formerly of the Arizona Cardinals, is visiting the Minnesota Vikings, which that in itself is interesting. A lot of these moves have just been made without visits, without real in-depth conversations. He's going and visiting. And I'm wondering, are they interviewing him or is he interviewing them, or maybe a little bit of both? It seems like it's going to get done. But our teammate, Dominique Foxworth, ESPN NFL analyst, was on Get Up and played out the hypothetical of Kyler joining the Vikings and what that could mean in Minnesota.
I'm not sure that Kyler has to change the way that he plays as much as O'Connell has to change the way that he coaches. And I think I would be a little bit more hyperbolic, I guess, than you. And what I think him going to the Vikings means is when Kyler is playing well, he's as good as just about anybody in football. So if they can find a way to sustain that success that he's had MVP level runs
2 years ago
for over 6, 7, 8 games. So I guess in my mind, if you can create that, we're looking at the best team right up there with the Rams in the NFC. Like this could change.
You think Minnesota, if Kyler's playing at a high level, is just as good as the Rams?
Absolutely. I know the defense is going to be good. I know that Brian Flores is going to be able to create pressure with that defense. That defense is going to be good. You get Justin Jefferson at the highest level possible. Like, it's not as if they have Darrisaw playing high-level tackle. If Kyler Murray can play his best football, #1 overall drafted quarterback for an extended period of time, they are as good as the Rams.
Wow. And I'm glad Dominic Foxworth said what he said in the beginning, hyperbolic, because that is not who he is normally. Like, he's not a hyperbolic person. He's as smart, reasoned, and caring as you're going to find. David Dennis Jr., I am surprised by that take. Do you agree with that take? That if Kyler is at his best, Minnesota's legit contender in the NFC?
I agree. I think they are a legitimate contender with Kyler Murray playing at a high Kyler Murray level, which I think that they can get to. And I think that one thing that I have, loved about Kyler Murray is that when he has a great wide receiver, they are simpatico. They are going to figure out how to work at all times. And I do think pairing him with Justin Jefferson raises his ceiling. That defense is going to be great. I do think they're in the mix. I wouldn't necessarily put them above the Rams, but you put him in Minnesota, they are right there in terms of a top 3, top 4 team to me in the NFC.
So we're just assuming that adding Kyler Murray to the Vikings not only puts them right there with the Rams, but puts them atop that division. We're going to put them above the Packers. We're going to put them above the Lions. We're going to put them above the Bears, who are the darlings of this past season. So many people think the Bears could make a Super Bowl run this year. And we just, having not seen Kyler Murray be consistent his entire career, are going to assume that he's going to go to Minnesota and be able to be consistent, be productive, and be healthy an entire season.
No,
and
we are not.
that's going to vaunt the Vikings to the top of the NFC North, let alone the top of the NFC. That's just a big leap I'm not willing to take. Now, I do think he's obviously an upgrade from J.J. McCarthy. There's a reason why Kyler Murray was a #1 overall pick. He is incredibly talented. He's incredibly athletic. There's a lot there for Kevin O'Connell to work with. But we just can't assume that it's going to work because he had extracted the best out of Kirk Cousins, and he did the same thing with Sam Darnold. He's great at what he does, KOC is. But I'm not going to just automatically assume that 1 + 1 is going to equal 2 here.
Well, and if you're looking at his QB record with some of the names, just let's use the names you've mentioned, right? So he's 2-1. Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold are wins. J.J. McCarthy's a loss so far.
A big one.
Right? So I think Kevin O'Connell obviously is a great head coach. Obviously, he's great with quarterbacks. I don't have the belief in Kyler Murray that Dominic Foxworth, David Dennis Jr., and others may have here. Like, I don't I think that is, David, I think that is such a leap with a guy that is really not like Dan Graziano brought up the idea, and we'll have Dan in the 7 a.m. Eastern hour, ESPN NFL reporter. He brought up the idea of maybe they could look into Geno Smith. This is prior to the Kyler thing and prior to the Geno trade to the Jets. And I thought, all right, you know what? Geno with Kevin O'Connell, I could see them really doing well because I've seen proof of concept. Now, Geno at his best, is he better than the hypothetical of Kyler at his best? No. But is Geno more steady and more of a proven veteran quarterback that is kind of extension of coach guy? Yeah. I mean, coaches love him. He's the guy that studies too much, I think. Like, hey, you got to go home. And maybe I am too warped by the study hall clause thing, and maybe that is too in my head.
You're very influenced by that.
I don't know how I can't be.
I think you're warped by this incredible B-roll blooper reel of Kyler Murray that plays every time anybody has something good to say about him, which actually kind of makes me want to shift my stance when I'm trying to say something good about Kyler Murray and we see the dude running back 15 yards.
Right. Let me set that up.
Oh my goodness.
So for those listening on the radio, we have this Kyler Murray video that we play on the TV side
Low
on
light
ESPN2
package.
That really is a low
Every
light
time somebody
package.
says something, anything remotely positive about this man,
it's an interception. It's a snap off of his helmet. Yeah, we don't necessarily like the tape that Dominic Foxworth is
so
talking
bad.
about of the 6, 7, 8 games that are MVP level. That's
Nowhere to
not
be
what's
found.
played. Yeah, and by the way, I don't remember when was that he had MVP level play. Did I miss something here?
I don't know if it was MVP level play, but there was a good run there a couple years ago where the Cardinals were making noise. Things kind of fell apart, and Kyler Murray looked like a guy who you could build a team around, but also, as this is playing, my goodness, just over and over again. But also, I'm not sure how great of a quarterback you need in Minnesota for them to be competitive. That team is loaded around Kyler Murray. It feels like if you have a game manager level Kyler Murray, which they obviously did not have with J.J. McCarthy, if you have solid quarterback play, that's a playoff team. If you have a guy who raises his ceiling beyond that, then you have a real contender. And I think there's a belief that Kyler Murray with KOC can be that.
Okay, you just hit on something. That is why I'm uncomfortable with these proclamations. That you're saying if you had a game manager type, because they don't need the highest level quarterbacks. I personally look at game manager as a compliment, not an insult. Mm-hmm. Okay? It means you're doing what the coach is asking you to do and helping your team win. That's a huge win. So of the available options, if you're looking for that guy, that's where, to me, Geno would have made more sense. I thought, Smalls, the beauty of what Kyler Murray was supposed to be was the guy that was not necessarily the quote-unquote game manager. It's like, oh, my God, everything broke down. Figure it out. I got you. Mm-hmm. I'm an elite, world-class, all-time level athlete. He just is. Like,
He's
top 10 pick in baseball, number 1 overall pick in football. That's the Kyler, please figure it out for us.
Yeah.
Right?
I think we want to see him be
Look at these
excellent.
highlights. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so for on the radio side,
Yeah, this is what we're looking for.
We found on the TV side positive highlights for David Dennis Jr.
Him using his legs,
There we
making
go.
plays. He's
Put it
fired
on the
up.
loop. Put it on the loop.
So,
Well, I don't know how many of those we have is the problem.
well, do you believe, Smalls, let's play out what David said. Do you believe Kyler Murray can be the quarterback that, as he just said, Minnesota doesn't need the guy to save them. He needs the guy to manage them. Can he be that guy?
I think he can be, certainly. But we're giving him and we're giving Kevin O'Connell and we're giving the Vikings, which are an unproven commodity together, the benefit of the doubt more than Caleb Williams, who took a big step last year, and Ben Johnson, who came onto the scene in the NFC North and won the division last year. We're giving them the benefit of the doubt as an unproven commodity more than Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions, who are hoping to get healthy and reload, and we've seen have success before, and more than Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers and a healthy Micah Parsons. I know the Packers have had defections, but I just don't know how so many people are ready to jump to the conclusion that Kyler Murray is going to be enough in Minnesota for them to be better than those 3 teams, and that's not even taking into account the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers, other teams in the NFC that have been more of a proven commodity than Kyler Murray and the Vikings.
Think about it this way, to your point. The Minnesota Vikings had a winning record last year. They could improve by 1 game and still finish in 3rd place in that division.
There you go.
With those teams in that division, well, I'm not saying that's likely, but in theory, that division is so good that they could be like San Francisco this year. You know, San Francisco won 12 games and was in third place in the NFC West. Right? Could they finish with 11 wins and be in third place in that division? They could. This Kyler Murray thing, I think we've gone from he could be improved to Super Bowl contender. I think it's a little too much of a stretch. That's for me.
It's the Sam Darnold effect, though.
But he's not Sam Darnold.
But everyone's looking for that next reclamation quarterback that's going to go to a new destination and elevate them to the promised land.
Yeah. We'll see. Let's see if this actually happens, by the way, because who knows? Maybe that visit doesn't turn out perfectly. We don't know, obviously, today. We will find out more as the day progresses. Coming up, why one GM in the NFL has said he is gutted by something that didn't happen. We will get to that after I tell you about something that has happened for the last 5 years in my home, and that is True Green coming and treating our lawn.